Good morning, fellow Gray Cloudy Day community. Attention, please. Attention, please. Coffee is ready. Only sipping on it. I try not to drink any coffee for at least an hour after I've been fully awake, but this morning I went ahead and made some. I've got a cup sitting here, and I've sipped it a couple of times. Might have mentioned that before. I learned that if we allow ourselves an hour to 90 minutes of awakeness before we have our first cup of coffee, we tend to not have as much of a come down from the coffee, a crash. I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. It turns out coffee is actually technically not a stimulant. A lot of people classify it as a stimulant, but what it actually does is it blocks the release. Like when you're sleeping, there's a certain chemical that's produced through the day that translates into melatonin later in the day and night. And then when you're asleep, there's a certain amount of it built up. So when you wake up, the person that was talking about this was a neuroscientist, and he was saying that when you first wake up, your body's trying to release a lot of this chemical and get it flushed out of your system. And if you drink coffee right off the bat, say within the first 30 minutes of getting up, you will have a greater come down, because what coffee actually does is it blocks the making or releasing of that chemical that would later in the day release and be turned into melatonin to help you sleep at night. So waiting a little longer to drink the coffee helps for less of a crash and a more productive day. And I try to limit myself to about 2 to maybe 3 cups if I am drinking coffee. There's many times I don't drink coffee, just water. Or if I need a little bit of caffeine, I will make just green tea with a little bit of some type of nice herbal mint or something tea mixed with it. So, and I was about to stop this video and just upload it the way that it was, but why not? Y'all are used to me talking a little bit before I get to the reading, and I think I should stick to that. I'm sharing a little insight. Not that I have a whole lot. Living a Life of Awareness by Don Miguel Ruiz Jr. Today's reading Daily Meditations on the Toltec Path, but what's in a name? This should be kind of fun. A symbol represents the idea or concept whose definition and meaning are subjugated to an agreement between individuals or communities. Symbols are great shortcuts and help in communicating with one another, but we should keep in mind the tendency to give symbols inherent power that they don't really have. Ain't that the truth? For example, your name is a symbol that allows you to be identified as an individual expression of consciousness in this dream of the planet. But as with any symbol, a name is only a pointer to the truth. It is not the truth itself. When I introduce myself, I say, I am Miguel. That is convenient and customary in our mutual dream. But I know that it is not completely who I am. For the essence of who I am is far, far greater than any name can describe. The same is true for you. Practice. With awareness today, remember that your name and identity are helpful symbols, but they do not define you. Who you are is an individual manifestation of the one life, not subject to any symbol. Makes sense? Now, of course, then you might question, well, why is it so important that people refer to you as Mr. Cloud or in your personal life when you're introducing yourself, after you say, well, I'm Gray Cloud, but I formally introduce myself to people for the first time as Mr. Cloud. And I wasn't born into this world and given that name by birth parents or earthly parents. I have shared a little bit, and it's about time, and I'm long overdue for maybe a little more in-depth discussion of after I entered those woods in 2008 and became on that spiritual journey and had the privilege to have the divine reveal itself in more depth and explain to me that the name given at birth was not what I should be going by anymore. And there's reasons behind it. And I mentioned yesterday in a brief short video after I videotaped some really cool clouds and everything, there's messages out there everywhere for us to see, to notice. It's whether we're in tune, well, are we practicing our in-tuneness? Are we listening? Are we listening enough? One cool thing I wanted to share is last night I did something I haven't done in a while where I just turned my tablet off. It was still fairly early in the night, and for like an hour or longer, I laid there, and my mind it wasn't racing in the sense of from one random thought to another thought. It was actually doing a really good processing thing of where a lot of the information that I received yesterday through church, through reading, through enjoying such a beautiful day, making videos, cleaning the room for the puppies, feeding my animals, all the kind of things I do on a daily basis or try to keep up with. Last night, I was basically just laying in the darkness, no music, no videos playing, nothing to distract me other than my own thoughts. And my thoughts weren't really distracting to me. And I found that interesting. And then I was able to find that peace, that silence within as well. But I did end up, after about an hour, I wasn't asleep. And so I got back up and I made me a couple pieces of cinnamon toast. Made 2 pieces with some cheese on it and garlic, then 2 pieces of cinnamon toast sweetened with artificial sweetener. And I'm really trying to eliminate almost entirely all carbs, but I do still eat a little bit of like healthier type bread. But I'm starting to learn that even what we think is healthy bread is not really that healthy because so many preservatives, things that's included in it, the processes, even a whole grain. Bread is not always as healthy as you might think, especially if you look at what all is included in it. But that's not what this channel is dedicated to. It's just I'm sharing a little bit of knowledge. And think about it today. What's in a name? All I know is that I was appointed to name Gray Cloud, then told back sometime last year, I don't want you to... Gift Given Scribe is not your title anymore. Now you're to formally introduce yourself as Mr. Cloud, Sage of the Eternal Moment. And these past few days, I have been relearning, reassessing what it means to have a label such as Sage of the Eternal Moment. Doesn't mean I'm any better than anybody. I'm not privileged. I don't have some inside connection that nobody else has. I just talk, I listen, and observe. And when the divine speaks back, I notice it. I'm better at it nowadays. I'm better at knowing when it's something the small lowercase I, is thinking, or that capital I, the I that I am, the I that created everything. It's important to try to learn discernment on, is this me making up this stuff in my head, or is this something directly coming from some source of creation? Until next time, Mr. Cloud, Sage of the Eternal Moment. I hope you enjoyed this. And I already have a recording for the Way of the Wizard video, which I will be uploading in a few hours. Look for it. Ditto. Let's end it there. This is long enough.